Hey, I'm AG. Welcome to this week's blog. This week I'm coming to you here from the Philippines, where we're conducting a UTD cave class, as well as a UTD instructor cave development class, as well as a UTD instructor trainer cave development class. So we've got like 3 different layers going on. It's quite interesting because the poor students, they'll go for their dive, they'll come back, and the instructor candidate will debrief, and then the instructor trainer candidate will debrief the students, and then debrief the instructor on how the instructor's debriefing was, and then I'll debrief the instructor trainer on how his debriefing of the instructor was, and so on down this chain of craziness. Anyways, it's pretty fun. But to be honest, UTD, what we do is we travel around developing students like this and instructors and so forth, preparing them for our projects that we do all year round. As some of you might know, last year we did a project in China in October, and it was a very successful cave project. We basically found several new caves, developed those caves into actual training caves, put in signs, put in line, and so on and so on and so on. And then it's efforts like this that we actually come and we do, where we actually prepare the students for the next project. So believe it or not, in 1 month's time I go to China again, where again I'll be speaking at DRT in Shanghai, which is the big dive show in Shanghai, and I'll be giving a presentation on our work, on our project, on our conservation efforts, our cleanup. Like even here, when we come here, we do a lot of conservation, a lot of cleanup. We bring toys for the kids, and what we do is we have them run around and clean up all the trash, and they get a prize, they get a toy, a book. So yesterday Po was handing out books and having fun doing that. It's really a lot of fun. Well, we do the same when we go to China, for example. There, when we find the new caves, part of our initiative is to set them up as proper training caves, set up and develop a local community, set up a local infrastructure so that the caves and the internal lines and the signs and everything's maintained so that you can develop a proper community in order to really reduce the deaths. Because if you don't go in and you don't do education and you don't do conservation and you don't do those things, the local divers will enter the caves without the proper training, without the proper tools, the right gear, the proper lights, continuous guideline, all the rules of cave diving. They'll go into their cave, deaths will happen, and the government will shut down the caves. So a large part of our efforts, for example, in China, is to go in and actually create the infrastructure to mimic one of the meccas of the world. I mean, a cave diving mecca is Mexico, for example, for recreational cave diving, and we want to mimic that type of infrastructure, that type of community, so that we can actually have access to those caves in China. So next month, for example, I go to DRT, as I already said, and what I'll be doing is I'll be giving a presentation on our work. There's some videos now. We released a video today. You can check it out on YouTube. That just shows you a little bit of highlights of the project, but at that show we'll have a full-blown video that we professionally produced from that project. We'll be highlighting that at DRT. So if you're at DRT, you should come check it out. But anyways, after that, myself and Juan and Jason, just a very small scout party, will spend 5 days scouting 5 new caves that we have information about. Now again, nobody's ever dove these caves. We don't know what's in these caves. All we know is this is where women and kids play in the clear water, and there's water coming out the ground. So women wash their clothes, the kids play. We've heard stories, we've had some locals go check it out, and there's definitely water coming out, and there's definitely entrances. So now it's our job to go scout it and check it out and prepare for our project coming up in October. So again, we have a project, a cave project, that's coming up in October. And it's open to UTD instructors and UTD divers. And that's what you see these guys preparing for, is to be able to participate in this project. Incidentally, we also have our rec project. So if you're not into caves, remember we do have UTD rec project coming up in May. Keep in mind that project is open to all level of divers. You don't have to be a UTD instructor. You can be a UTD technical diver, you can be a UTD diver, you can be a DIR diver, you can be a GU, I don't care, whatever brand, it doesn't matter. The idea of the project is to basically go out and research, some 200 wrecks that are in the Omani area. Anyway, you should check that out on our webpage and see if that's something that interests you. So, bottom line is, UTD, we have a lot of projects going on, a lot of professional projects, a lot of work in the community, a lot of conservation and preparation and so forth, and taking our classes, and what these guys are doing is all part of building that unified team across the world. If you have any questions about our education, our conservation, about our project efforts, feel free to email us at info at unifiedteamdiving.com. And as always, gang, safe diving.